This video is going to walk you through the entire form builder and how you can use it for an application. I'm also going to highlight some of the best practices and some suggestions for a template. So you have now entered in from the form, you have gone to that you're looking at an account creation form, and you have clicked on to create a draft form. All right, from the very beginning, we're going to see that we have this form builder. Go ahead and fill out your application, give it a name, give it some description, and upload some sort of cover picture. This is what's going to show on the thumbnail that you're going to have in the form area. So you want to make sure that you have some sort of description that you know. Also, if you have a student that might see it, this is what they would see, so be sure and fill those out. You know that you're an account creation. This is an application. You're looking for a student. Here are some of the key points. Make sure that you use all sections at once, viewing experience. This is the way that the form builder works the best. Also, if you want to require a payment, some sort of an application fee, you can put anything that you want in here. But if you do have this, there's no problem, but then just make sure that you have a payment gateway set up and that you have an ability to collect that fee. We use Braintree. We can talk to you about that as well. But you can't actually put this in and have an application fee. All right, the next part you're going to come to is this section, this login information, and this is not optional. You cannot delete this or change this, and the reason why is this form is used to create the account for a person in the system. So we must have, to create the account, a username, an email, and we're looking for their language as well so that we can respond to them. And you can't change this because if this is missing or something happens, they can't create the form and we have a real problem. So its location, everything like that, this is static. You can't change it. Now when you come into this, though, the next part, all this other part, is completely optimizable. You're going to start, I'm going to click down here a little bit further because I've filled out most of this, but you're going to be looking at adding a section. And so when you add a section, this is what's going to come up. You see this default section title. You can go in here and you can change the name, but this is what it's going to give you. It's going to give you all these different options that you have on types of questions. And I'm going to show you and go through each one of these below just quickly, and then I'm going to show you how to group them and maybe how to use them in the best way. Now, the main thing I do want you to do is this part here where it says go to these different sections. This ignore right now. This is actually used for a different form that's in here. So this is not, will not be used. Okay, we can see we have short answer, long answer, multiple choice. We have a linear scale, a multi-answer, a file upload, an address, a rating, an email, a username, a phone number, statistics, and date. I'm just going to quickly show you what these look like and highlight a couple things. Here's your short answer. You can put something in here. Each one of them is going to have a toggle for required. That means you cannot complete this form unless this particular one has been filled in. Now, this is really important. You're going to see on some of these a sync to profile. And when you click this on, it's going to give you some different options that basically the information that you have here will come over and fill in the profile that you're going to see over here on your left-hand side into My Account. I'm going to show you exactly how that works, and we're going to fill one out and you can see it, but I just want you to be cognizant that some of these will have this sync to profile. Here's a file upload. This has any type of file. You have to click, but you can accept, and this is what you'll accept. So a student can upload an image, a document, a video, or an audio. So this is nice for maybe you want to upload transcripts, or maybe you want them to answer a question or give you their testimony, but you want to hear or see what they can do. This is very easy to do on the phone, by the way. You have the address form. You see this also has the sync to profile option. But if you look at this, I will say this is a very American-centric right now, and so it does ask for your state and zip code. We understand that. We are working on that, but just go ahead and fill it out for wherever you are in the world. This gives you some of the some statistics if you want. I'll show you how you can use that, but this is where you can have a rating of like how well do you like something, and then you can put all the different choices. You can ask for another email, and this is important. This is the profile recovery email. So they are going to have at the very beginning, if you remember, you have an email here. This is the one that they will have for all times. But many times people need a second email for if they would lose the first one, or one of them is a corporate one and this may be a personal one. So this is nice, and this goes to a different part of the profile, and then we'll give them a recovery email. Username, we won't be using that much. This is for something else, but it is an option. Phone number, very nice to have, and again, that one will sync to your profile. Date and time, syncing to date of birth. So this is nice. You can ask how old their birthday is so you can get some idea of their age. Statistics, we have this. It isn't used that often, but I'll show you some ideas with that. Long answer, here's where you can add anything that you want, like why are you interested in a program. Multiple choice, here you have different options. And this is where they can have one thing they can pick, and then you're going to come down here to your multiple answers, and you can do the same thing, and they can pick multiple things that they're interested in. This is your scale. You're basically left to right. I'll show you what this looks like, but you can have as many things as you want. You can only have 2, 3. You can have as many of these to be able to have some sort of input on the scale side. All right. Now that's just a overview of all the different types. Now here's where the best practices would come. You can put all of these in one section, or you can break up the sections. I'm going to break up the sections, and that's just a personal preference. Sometimes it's easier to group things together. It's just how you think the student will respond. I personally like to group them like I want all my demographic in one area. So here, this is what I'm going to put in. What is your first name? I'm going to require to sync to profile, and when I come in here, I'm going to match that it requires to their first name. So I have that in here. I want make sure if you want a first and last name, enter them separately. Make sure you enter 2 of those, sync to the profile, and here's their last name. Now you also did see you could have a nickname, and so the third one would be what is your nickname, or you can use that for maybe a name if they want to hide their name for security reasons, or if you have grandparents' names or grandfathers' names, or just culturally you need a third name, you can use this area. Here's your address. Again, I marked this. I want to sync to profile because it's important that I have the address. I want the phone number. I ask for a WhatsApp number. It won't necessarily say WhatsApp. We'll show this, but it's a good thing to have to get their number. Here's your birthday. I want to sync that to my profile, my date of birth. I want the additional recovery email at this point in time. If I can get a second email, that way I can always get hold of the people, and I want to again mark that that's required. If you want something to sync to the profile, you need to make sure that it's required. Now I'm going to go back and take these other forms and other types and say something like long answer, like why do you want to apply to your school? This is a good place to give me a short version of your Christian testimony, some things you might like that. Here's your multiple choice and your multiple answer, really getting what they're interested in, giving them some choices so that you know exactly what. Maybe it's a location that you want them to mark, anything where you want to guide what you want them to pick from. And this file upload, this is a great place to, if you want the transcript. Now, if you say you want the transcript or an audio recording and you mark this required, they cannot send in the whole application without it being done. And many times people have trouble completing and having the transcript ready. So you might want to think if you want to make that required or not. I tend to not right now suggest that because people do take time to have the transcript, but you can have other places you have transcript, or you can just say at the beginning before they begin that they have their transcript ready. Now remember also, as you're going through this, there is no complete and exit because there's nothing to save. This is the create account form, so there's a little bit of a nuance there. So you don't want to make this so long or have so much in it that the student can't complete it at one fell swoop, one shot. You want to be able to do that. Here's where you come down. I just lumped these different types together. These aren't used that often, but if you want to say how easy was it to apply and you want them to have some idea, you want some information on that way, or maybe you want to ask them how important is a degree program. The statistic right now, we use it for other things. Right now, I would not suggest using it. Okay, at this point in time, we've saved everything. Now let's come up here and take a preview and take a look to see what this is going to look like. Now, the first thing that I am going to do, this has nothing to do, I'm going to delete these sections that I just showed you because I don't want them to show up. They were just used as a demonstration, and I don't want those to show up in my preview. I want the preview to actually look more like exactly what you would see. Okay. Now, this preview will show you what the student would see when they would actually come in and to fill this out, what it would look like. And so here you have your login information. Okay. All right, again, username required, email, confirm your email. Here's this, these are just these different types. I want to make sure that I should have deleted those. Let's just ignore those. Here again, here's what is your first name. So your last name, again, what the people, they have their address. Here's their different addresses and the countries. The phone number, again, it's going to give you the different countries and the phone number that you can use, your birth date, additional recovery email. Here's what it looks like. Apply to our school. What program are you interested in? Here's where you can send a transcript, but notice that these are not required. And here's some of it about applying to the program. Right now, I would suggest that maybe not use these right now. This one is kind of nice though if you have some like how soon do you want to apply or how important is it, some application on that side. So that's what it's going to look like from the student side. Now I'm going to come back here and I'm going to show you, I'm going to come back into the My Account. When this application has been filled out and an account has been created, here's where it will automatically, remember they had the sync to profile, so now we're on the profile. This is the creation, the beginning of the creation of your academic record of the information that you have as a student. So it's going to get synced to your first name, it's going to sync to your last name, it's going to sync your date of birth, it's going to sync your address right here, it will sync your phone number and an extra email. All of that will automatically sync to your profile when you first start. So that gives you some idea of how to create that form builder to use for the application.